if Expat Prepper wants on, can we let him come on later?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll drop him the link. Okay, hold on. Let me multitask here.
You're live.
I'm live. Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the future. I see we got 5 people waiting. I am here again with Johnny Warrior of Expat TV, one half Expat TV, and we're going to talk about the future because it seems, how can I say this? We're starting to collaborate, kind of teaming up on some things.
Yeah. Hey, Graham, how you doing?
Yeah. Don't worry, Graham. You're going to get drafted when you come. So we're talking about the future. And I'm putting out a disclaimer right now. If you go over to Baguio Life and you see the videos, anything to do with drama, fighting, channel versus channel stuff has all been privatized. It is gone. So we're moving on in a positive direction. Take it away, Johnny.
Yeah, I actually like that. That's a good thing. Hey, Expat Prepper, how you doing? Chicken Choker, how you doing? I think that
Larry, you got the link in your Facebook. Sorry about that.
Yep. They I think everybody else has the drama covered, so there's no need to even participate in that. Although I would like to do one solid correction here, that there has been people stating that they were the first and they're number one and all that, and I guess maybe views are fine with that, but as far as the first people in the Philippines or first person in the Philippines, I hate to say this, but Set Style actually was the one that started all of this type of genre for the Philippines, for the Philippine expat community, for us vloggers on here doing this. Do you remember when he started that? He was doing what he was doing. What he was doing was he was bringing in, and I got to actually be one of the interviewers. He was bringing in emerging vloggers in the Philippines, or interviewees, and he was interviewing them on a radio show style, like what we do, like a talk show style, and it was really good. He had some good people on there, and he was giving out some really good information. That format I thought was really successful for him because he has that personality to be able to do that. And I don't know why he stopped doing it. I guess maybe because he got busy and when he moved over. But he was actually the one that kind of blew all this whole live cast thing open for us in the Philippine community. I think he also gave us a really good model. Yeah, that's it, Phil Pat Radio. And I think he gave a good model for a lot of people that a lot of people copied in order to get it going. You know what I mean? Crazy Kano's in the chat, and Crazy Kano, I'm going to be reaching out to you here shortly because there's some things that Eric and I would like to talk to you about that we might see if you want to get involved with, directly involved with Operation Backpack.
Okay. Hey, can I say something though? Not to butt hurt people. Okay.
Well, don't say if it's going to. Don't say it if it's going to hurt.
Johnny's not okay. I know you've reached out to a lot of people, right? Okay. Yeah. The reason why I'm getting involved is, for one, we live close to each other.
Yeah.
Number 2, our wives are like fucking clicking. The family's meshed great. So if anybody's butthurt, that's the reason why I got asked. And Johnny knows I got a lot of time on my hands, and it's also therapy for me to quit smoking if I stay busy.
Yeah, that, and if people bitch at you.
Yeah.
So here going forward is kind of some of the things that we'd like to highlight. Let's first talk about Operation Backpack, since we're kind of busting around the edges on it a little bit, and the future of what that is we want to be able to have a sustainable presence in doing this. The whole mission is to offset costs for those families in more impoverished elementary schools directly, and allow them to count on that benefit being there so they can concentrate their money in other avenues to ensure they keep their kids in school. That is the mission statement. That's the mission of, to provide quality materials, quality grade appropriate materials to children at the elementary school level in order to meet the needs and give economic relief to the impoverished families and keeping their kids in school. That is the mission statement. That is the goal of what Operation Backpack is. All the other little things that we do is outliners of that, but the charter and the main purpose of what Operation Backpack is a no strings attached gift in order to help them keep them in school. That's the only way we're going to break the cycle of poverty for a lot of these families.
Yeah.
And, a recent article has shown that more than 20% of Filipino families are identifying themselves as poor. That's almost a quarter. Almost a quarter of the population is identifying themselves as impoverished. It's getting worse,
and
not better.
And guys, if you're in the Philippines right now, especially Baguio, south to Manila, Cavite, shit's getting rice crops fucking toast this cycle. They're already calling it, so there's going to be more need out there.
Yeah.
Excuse me. That's the DSL is yelling at the dogs.
Well, actually, Chicken Choker, here's the deal. We're under a 501c3. So our stuff is all followed under a 501c3. We're not apt. What the nonprofit charity license does is allows you to collect money locally. First of all, our money doesn't come from the Philippines. And secondly, the deliverance, we don't find we have our tax status under the U.S. since, we're being managed by a U.S. asset. So we don't have to worry about the BIR there. And we've checked the laws and we got everything taken care of. And we actually learned this lesson through another vlogger that had been doing quasi-charitable work that got kind of pinned back on it. And we made sure that we sought the 501c3 avenue in order to ensure that we were legal. Now, just to make sure, Eric and I will be going to a lawyer as soon as I get back to make sure that we've got all our T's and our I's crossed and make sure that we're not in, you always want to double check. And that's something we'll probably do annually since the laws and regulations change so regularly in the Philippines. But definitely we're good.
Hey, Johnny, I'm dying to ask you a question if it's okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Welcome, Larry.
Yeah, hello, guys. Thanks for having me on. I've heard you talk about this Operation Backpack, on a number of occasions. And I'm just curious because here in Negros, I don't know if it's in Luzon, but they have a government program already. These poor mountain people, they get money for their children. It's called Poor Peace, and that's for backpack and school supplies. Yeah. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yeah, I'm aware, but it's not a unilateral program. It's just Blue like
Mat. It's from Blue Mat.
Yeah. It's a tribal, I think, isn't it kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, it's kind of like Native American aid. It's selective to certain poor indigenous peoples is what it is.
If you guys ever pass by a land bank,
we talked
about 1 million people outside of there. They're getting their Poor Peace money.
Well, and like I said, I think that's a program more focused towards indigenous peoples.
Yeah.
So
especially,
it's not something that's available in the areas that we're in. I mean, we do have a lot of Igorot, but the Igorot that they don't have any aid like that going to the Igorot right now.
No.
Okay.
No, because, well, actually, can I say something about the Igorot people? They're very highly educated.
Yeah. Because
the fact is that I guarantee you 80+% of them all been Catholic mission schooled or missionary schooled, Anglican or Catholic.
Yeah.
And then
they have good schools.
But Larry, what we're trying to focus on with this is the communities that live hand to mouth with the people that are the tenant farmers.
Exactly.
The people that are like subsistence living.
I know all about those people. Yep.
Yeah. There you go. We got a point of contact on Negros if Larry volunteers.
Well, but see, Negros, he's got a point. You know, Negros is one of the areas that are going to have
is indigenous.
Yeah. So,
okay.
And now, you know, like down in, it's going to be difficult to also justify down in Mindanao because Mindanao just got, I mean, I think what, 20 billion in aid, you know?
Well, also, Larry, they also have a program now. If you can get the kids through high school and graduated, they can go to a state-run university for free.
Yeah.
I think it's an admission test.
Wow. That's good news.
No, that's the Duterte's program
mandate. Yeah,
his mandate was free college degree for
at a state university.
At a state university.
Yeah, he said a lot of stuff. He also said he was going to double the teachers' salaries, and all the teachers around here on Negros I talked to, they have yet to see their.
Well, hey guys, all these mandates, including the free college tuition, have yet to find funding sources. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know. I have a nephew.
I'm not criticizing. I'm not criticizing the government. Let me back up a minute.
No,
and I don't want to get involved in any kind of
we're not criticizing, but let's be truthful about it. I mean, the mandates are great, but if the mandates aren't funded, right, they're not going to get into play. And there's a situation. This year is the first year. There's two things going on this year. There was when he did this mandate, there was a change in a non-clause 2-year span of high school diploma receivers that if they are not in college by this semester, they're going to actually have to go back and take another year of high school, irrelevant of the age.
Yeah. And, can I?
Well, stop. Let me finish the thought, and then you can correct it. Damn. And then the second part of that is this is also the first year, this coming tuition cycle, where they are allowing the free tuition to all for all programs, because before it was like agribusiness, you know, certain programs, but now it's open to all. And they're still not funded, but they got everybody who's in it is enrolling. And Eric and I actually have somebody that we know that is going through that process, and the school doesn't know where the money's coming from, but that's not affecting the fact that she's enrolling and being able to go into the program. Makes sense?
Yeah, I have. Okay, now when you were talking about the 2-year gap, I had a niece. She enrolled in technical school. That education going until her 18th birthday.
Yeah.
To get into that program. And her brother right now is getting ready to graduate next year with a teaching certificate.
Yeah.
But, you know, you got to do the board exam thing and everything. But
that's not an easy process either. Most of those teachers, you know, that come out of there have trouble passing boards. It's very rare for a teacher to pass it, you know, the first time.
There's only one course in the Philippines that does not have a board exam, and that's hotel and restaurant management.
Yeah, I think that's why it's the most popular one that they go to. HRMS, you know.
Yeah. But
mine was away from the topic.
We're going. Okay, go ahead.
Mine was in computer science. My Asawa was in computer science, and that was the big stressor on that. But you know, we're kind of moving off the point with the Operation Backpack. What we're trying to do forward is to ensure that we can impact as many needed, you know, schools that fit that criteria of the need and be there consistently, a sustainable source. And that's the key, because if you start missing, if we start jumping all over the Philippines and we're only getting them once every 5-6 years, that's nothing sustainable. It gives no relief. It gives no finite end to the issues at hand, where they're not being able to afford not just the equipment, but they can't afford the uniforms, and they can't afford the 1 meal a day because there's no school food program.
Where you guys get most of your funding from?
You guys.
Okay.
We got American viewers in America, the United States, Australia, all over the place donate to it, and it falls under that 501c.
Okay.
Now we've been lucky. I had a guy out of Texas that gave close to, well, no, he did. He gave a little over $300, right, into the program. His tithing for that month, which is that's blessed money. So that helped kind of move a good, just in the right time, motivated a lot of people to donate as well. And, we were able to fund this one for JP Castillo Elementary. And that one was, to be honest, that was epic. That was an excellent example of how that program needs to play out. It's coming in, and it wasn't, in the future, we're not going to be the Kano part of it, other than the videoing, all the speaking, because one of the things that we need to do is some of these schools are a little, they're mixed. You'll have some middle class, but it's predominantly hand-to-mouth subsistence farmers that are in there. So what we're going to appeal is we can't pick and choose who gets the backpacks, because that just causes issues. What we're going to do is we're going to come in there, and the Filipinos that are involved in the program will explain to them, look, we're giving you these backpacks. If you feel that you don't need that material, you're more than welcome to pass over and not take it, or give it to a kid and a student in another school that is in need of it. That way, you're kind of giving the kids a little bit of ownership too. Now they can participate in community involvement and giving as well. So, we can't go in there and say, well, you already have a backpack, you don't get one, but you do. That's just not the way it's going to work. It's just, we're going in there, we're giving it as a positive influx, and hopefully some of them who don't need it will find it in their hearts to not take it and give back. So
just be careful, man. I don't know if you heard what happened to a certain restaurant owner in Damagatti that was kind of adopting schools that had a lunch program. He did a lot of work. A lot of YouTubers met at his restaurant, around Baguio. They had meetups. Anyway, this particular guy, he's a super nice guy. He started a lunch program in one of those mountain schools. Anyways, somebody tried to get involved with the program, after he had already, got it up and running, and he wasn't going to let that happen. Anyways, they said some horrible things about him and accused him, of having inappropriate relations with the students, and he had to get a lawyer and prove his innocence, and he was found innocent because
Larry,
because of jealousy.
Larry, I can answer that. Let me answer that.
Well, hold on. Here's one of the things that I'm a little baffled at, and it's not on you, Larry, but apparently I'm not an effective communicator, right? Because I swear to God, I have said like 1,000,000 times that it is not me or any other Kano that delivers the backpacks. In fact, it is students from another school, family members that are associated with Gib and I. It's Filipino on Filipino, for not just that reason, but also to stop the whole Great White Hope thing and the image of, look, there's Filipinos involved with this. So all that stuff has been thought of. Guys, you got to give me credit for being a little bit intelligent, being a little bit smart about this. I keep getting questions about, references to the guy.
That I had to talk to you about it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you should have watched some of the videos, and you should have read some of the stuff that I'm doing too. But guys, understand, there's been a lot of research in this, right? because Gib and I don't want to end up getting kicked out or in trouble or anything like that. We want to be able to have this as a very good program. So instead of us talking about what we need to look out for, or what we shouldn't have, what we should worry about, or anything like that, help us develop plans on getting the thing funded. Help us spread the word. Help us get it out there. All right. That's what we need. We don't need the legal advice. We don't need the what's up, because we've already gotten that. All right. That stuff's been fixed. We've already been successful in it once. We need to continue the successes, and we need to continue the cycles, because and it's nothing against any one individual, right? But this is the symptomology of that toxic aspect of the way we start to develop a negative opinion or a negative concept and on anyone's one idea or whatever. I have learned the following through the individual on whole, where everybody likes to reference that. I know that I need to have certain legal parameters. I have fixed that with the 501c3. Okay, I'm legal. 2, I don't want to, he is not as transparent as everybody claims he is. No, that's why we show every receipt on a video, or you're there with us shopping, or you're there with the event. That's transparency. Opening up the books and showing you on video, that is transparency. We tell you every step and we show you every step. Nobody can argue that, right? And there was one little error that was made in this last one that's corrected, but you won't even see, right, any interaction between a foreigner and a child. It will be a Filipino national and citizen on a child, period. Most likely the same school age, or a high schooler that is volunteering to help with the program. But it's not just because we want to protect ourselves. We also want to spur them to want to get into community involvement as well. Makes sense?
Yeah, it sure does.
And Larry,
let Larry talk, bro. Let him talk first. Let him finish his thought out, dude. Okay, just wait a minute.
Okay, I was just gonna say it's admirable what you're doing. I heard you talk about it in the past, and like I said, this is my first chance to really talk about it. And it sounds like you really got all the avenues covered,
hopefully,
as far as the legal red. Yeah, so.
And that is why, Larry, there is a committee made up of Filipinos and Kanos.
Exactly. And Larry, if you want, you can come in and come into that committee, right, for that your area. And although those programs are in place, does not mean that those programs are not applicable to every elementary school, right, in your region. They're specific. They have to have a certain percentage of indigenous people in order to be. Actually, I think that's an individual award, isn't it?
It might be.
I don't think it's awarded to the school.
You know what? I could. My wife's in the other room. I mean, we got a funeral going on at my house. I got.
Let's not bother your wife with that. Just at a time.
Hey, Larry, I got you and Johnny both on Facebook. We can get Gib on, and we can do a group hangout or a group Facebook chat.
Yeah, and we'll get that information. That's stuff that we probably need to do on the backside anyway. But
yeah,
information like that would be good, because now that I think about it, I think that particular grant is an individual, because they have to prove the indigenous status, and they get the money based on that. I don't think it's the school that gets the award. I think it's the individual population that gets the award.
But yeah, I was up at the ATM the other day, and what they do, they get a lot of them. Well, the ones I saw, I don't want to sound negative or anything. Maybe these were just mountain people, and they had the guard working the ATM. The people got the number, their PIN number from the land bank, and they took their ATM card, and they were like swamping all the ATMs everywhere. I was behind 12 people, and they weren't even. The guard wasn't even letting them use the ATM themselves. He was doing it for them, and everybody was getting, I think, 1,100 pesos. They were getting 1,000 and then a 100 peso. Yep.
Yeah, that probably had to do just for efficiency, you know.
And it must be like tribal payday back in the States.
Yeah, I think they have that program for the school too. Remember, where they get a lump chump.
And also, I'm gonna put this out to the audience. Over here, if you're not over here, guys, and you're listening, you have to remember the population here. They're gonna pick feeding their families over buying school supplies.
Yep.
Uniforms is a non-issue. We're not even going to bring the whole uniform thing up because that's a non-issue. The schools sometimes don't care about uniforms. Like, I know I live here in the city. They're stickler for uniforms, but we don't have that problem that the provinces have.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned this. I was just talking about the same issue with my wife. Since we live up in the mountain, my kid was going to the school, right? The road going down the mountain to the highway, there's a school right there, and we pulled my kid out of there and sent him to school in the next town over, because the school he was going to, they weren't strict about uniforms. You can arrive there late. They give the kids more latitude because they're walking down from the mountain. And they have more days off, it seems, than the main school in the city where he's going now. It's more rigid. He has to have a haircut. He's got to have his uniform, the proper shoes. You can't just miss school.
Which I'm with you, man. I'm a proponent about that kind of discipline because it actually does establish a environment in the academic setting. Right, it's a non-competitive environment. Girls and guys aren't worrying about who's got the best what or whatever. And I'm totally for that. The only problem that it's causing is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, I think for like in his area now for this area that we had done at JP Morgan, we could have gotten each uniform because they were using a PT uniform. We could have gotten each uniform below 100 pesos per uniform. But in some of these, because they use the higher quality type stuff, it's a couple thousand pesos per uniform. Am I correct?
Yes, but it's like $2,000 to outfit PE and regular uniform.
Okay, so for the whole uniform requirement is $2,000.
And if you step into a major city, each individual school has a different color uniform. There's no one blanket color or blanket uniform for the schools.
Well, it's like that. It's like that in Solano. Each school has a different one.
And another thing, guys, is I'm telling you right now, there's places here north, I would say going towards Sagada, Banawi, that the kids go to school and stay there for 3 days a week because that's how remote they live.
Yeah, the Assemblies of God have on the going towards Baguio. The Assemblies of God has a camp and school there, and that's how they do theirs. Is they're there for 3 or 4 days, and they have barracks there, and they go there for worship and education, and then they go back to their house for an extended stay.
Okay, let's wrap the Operation Backpack Project up with some final or last remarks.
No, we got more stuff to say about it.
We do? Okay.
I'm fucking with you, man.
Okay. I didn't know. I mean, here's the thing. The main focus of this is to get the individual child supplied to the college level.
No. All we're doing is elementary schools.
Oh, well, elementary schools. Well,
yeah.
Okay. Well, I thought it was all schools, but okay, my bad. But it helps them get the head start.
Exactly. The head start, because there's no look, man. If we start focusing on such a broad stroke, we're never going to meet an objective for success, and it's just going to peter out. We have to be able to have a narrow margin. So how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, bro. And we're just taking our bites out of the problem. Okay. Hopefully we're going to be able to do enough to make an impact on one area or region. and that's going to start breaking the cycles. If we're selective in the requirements and we concentrate on exactly, and we don't deviate from what our charter to the 501c3 is, we should be very successful.
How much do you pay for backpacks at your store?
I haven't broken it down, but
285 my wife pays for backpack.
Wow. No,
From the
we don't pay that much.
No, I was there, and the master negotiator was at work.
What do you pay for from the agent?
Like 200.
No,
230 for backpack.
what? No,
My wife's paying 230 per backpack from the agent. She has a store. I don't know if you guys have a source already for your backpacks.
Yeah, we do. We don't for a full backpack, a backpack with all the equipment, we don't even pay that much.
Well, then you're getting a good deal. Yep.
Yeah, we went down to the what is it called? Divisoria in
199
Manila.
and 198.
Yeah. And then we turned around and found a wholesaler that'll give us the same prices out of Divisoria locally, so we can save money on the transportation now. So
yeah, you beat my wife's price that she's getting for her store. She gets them from an agent, comes around with a truck. So yeah, you definitely been doing your research, Johnny.
Yeah.
No,
and honestly, the person who focuses on Divisoria is Crazy Kano. He's the one that had suggested
Kano Salmonella.
Kano Salmonella, and he stated it, and then turned around, and Eric jumped in on it and said, "Yeah, we need to go down there," and that he would donate the transportation. So they went down there, and it took just a morning. They bought everything that they needed in like 2 stalls, and it just took the morning, and they were on the road. So it was good.
And Larry,
yeah,
I have no idea what he said, Larry. Did you hear
him?
He's cutting out. I don't know.
Yeah, you cut out,
Okay.
bro. You got to repeat that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's him, not us.
Yeah, no.
You know, with the spring season, I don't know who it is. If it's him or if it's me or.
Well, your guys' weather there is so crazy up in the. Are you getting it as bad as Luzon is?
Yeah, we got rain all day, and like I said, I'm getting my signal from another dish about 10 miles away on another mountaintop, and with the low cloud ceiling, it knocks it out sometimes.
He's had in Baguio. He was saying that he had 18 days so far straight rain.
So about the 21.
Oh, it's 21.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and everything is basically flooded between here and Manila. Araneta area, Manila is about 12 feet underwater right now, and I think kind of Manila's got about 1.5 feet, 2 feet.
Yeah, I saw his pictures on Facebook where he's sitting on his porch and it's running down in there. He's just chilling. He's no panic in him.
Yeah. So, but okay, let's move on for Operation Backpack.
Okay.
Let's move on to your news. If everything drops.
Oh, you mean my move?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Eric has helped, Eva has actually helped us locate a piece of property that's going to work out really well in Baguio, and the price is right. We're going to pay about $350,000 for 100 square foot or 100 square meter postage size lot stamp. But in Baguio, that is exactly what you want, because you just build up, right? So you have a taller building structure than whatever, and it's so mountainy, you don't worry about gardens and stuff like that. And the area is really nice because it's not actually that far from the downtown area. So we are going to go ahead and move down to Baguio, or move over to Baguio, and after the build is complete, should take us about a year, year and a half, maybe, I think, and it'll be great. I'm excited. I know the Asawa is beyond excited because she's lived there about 18 months. She lived in Baguio, and she absolutely loves it. So I think that'll be a good, because we were talking about going back to Cebu, and it's just the problem with Cebu or Dumaguete or anything like that is that all the medical support that I need and RAO support and everything is in Subic. So I got to be reasonably close and have reasonable access to it. Although if we can get the FMP program rolling at Notre Dame, I may move my stuff over to Notre Dame in Baguio if I can succeed in that same program that Bay Point has down there. But I mean, I'm looking forward to being able to stay close to the family and still have access to transportation that'll get me to where we need to travel and access to my medical and everything else. It'll be great.
You military guys got pretty good coverage up there, don't you?
We're not going to get into TRICARE. It's
no, I'm just nothing deep. It's just
no. You're right. We do. We get it. We get it for the program where the program is instilled correctly. It's actually really, really good. The TRICARE. The problem with the TRICARE use is the various hospitals. TRICARE wasn't paying them, on the regular cycles. These hospitals here, because of their operational costs, have to be paid between the 30, 60, 90-day matrix. Well, some of TRICARE, see what FMP does is they immediately pay a portion of the total amount within 30 days, which tells the hospital, oh, wow, this is legit. And then they'll pay the rest of it, prior to the 120-day mark. And the hospitals are fine with that. TRICARE is an all or nothing. They wouldn't release any funds. They release the entire check up to 120 days. The hospital's operating costs can't do that. All right. So they a lot of hospitals dropped the TRICARE.
That's why the VA dropped the LOAs.
Yes.
Hey,
well, the LOAs is directly corresponding with FMP. What?
Did you hear about what's going on and people getting sick from that disease from those rats in the water in Manila?
You mean leptospirosis?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the name.
Yeah. Well, no, I haven't actually. I'm not there, so the contacts that I had with the DOH, I'm not nurturing at the moment. But that's something with flooding. There's a couple things that everybody should be looking at. Leptospirosis is one of them. The other one is waterborne typhoid. During flooding and hurricanes, cholera as well. But waterborne typhoid is something that emerges. It's endemic there, and it emerges each time that there's large water events. And when you're talking core city centers, wells washing out, etc., I would anticipate in about another 4 weeks, you'll probably start getting a good spike in waterborne typhoid, and leptospirosis would be right about now. And I think you'll also probably have small issues in areas. I'm not going to say like an epidemic, but you're going to have these little hot spots of cholera that'll need to get controlled pretty quick.
My housekeeper's daughter is in Manila, and she got sick from that how do you pronounce it? Leptospirosis?
Yes, that's it.
She's so sick she couldn't even stand up. They sent her 10,000, and then they sent her another 10 on top of that to pay her hospital bill. Yeah, she got really sick from it.
Actually, hey, Larry.
Yeah.
Larry, I'm doing the rat experiment here in the next couple of weeks. JW put me onto some stuff. I'll let you know how it works.
Rat experiment.
Rat eradication experiment.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We
I
can
know
talk offline about that.
Yeah, it cleared my house. Papa showed me how to do it, and it's cleared everything. I mean,
Well, tell me, I can't wait. I hate rats.
okay, he'll tell you on it. He'll tell. Yeah, Ed Lippett, dengue is there. I was stuck in the hospital for a week with dengue when I first got there. And you're going to see, you guys need to pay attention because this early rain event, right? Because it's not cold yet. You know, that heat's going to kick back up. That Aedes albopictus is the vector for that particular one. And those are container breeders, just like Aedes aegypti and for yellow fever. So, you know, you're going to get all this water that's deposited into these little thrown away buckets and containers and the pools and stuff like that. And your Aedes albopictus population is going to boom, and your dengue fever issue is going to be higher. I caught mine out of Cebu, right? Baguio does have a history of dengue outbreaks.
Not this year's hasn't been.
Hence the word history. Yeah. I didn't say that, not active.
Yeah, we had a family member get it.
And then
meningitis from that dengue.
Can you what?
Get meningitis, spinal meningitis from that?
I no, not that I know of. I don't. I'm trying to reach back in my memory, and I can't remember. I think what you're talking about is like an encephalitis infection, because you can get Japanese encephalitis as an outbreak. They do have outbreaks of Japanese encephalitis in the Philippines, and that will give you meningitis.
Yeah, I heard of a girl from the Bronchi. She got bit by a mosquito, man. She died of meningitis.
It's probably Japanese encephalitis.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
Well, hey, guys, I'm going to tell the chat right now. Next week, when my subject matter experts are free, the person we're having on has a farm. He has a farm, so he'll be able to answer your questions. He is also a landlord. He's also a commercial landlord. He's also a homeowner. And the other guy is an agriculture guy too. And all your questions are going to be answered. Okay, back on topic.
But so I'm looking forward to that move and finally checking that off of the bucket list for the Asawa to have the
mountain views.
Yeah, mountain views, because Baguio was one of her. You know, she wanted either her list ranged from Subic. She likes living in Subic, Baguio, vegan, Cebu. And there was one other. So at least I'm hitting one of the ones that she really wanted to live at, which is good.
And you're also, the part about living here, you're 90 minutes, an hour, 15, hour, 30 from the beach.
And you keep raising that. You keep raising that number.
It just depends on the traffic on the highway. That's all.
Yeah, because it was first an hour, and it was hour 15. Now it's an hour 30. Pretty soon it's going to be 2 hours.
It's Baguio. It's Baguio, dude. It's one of the setbacks to traffic.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I got to be up there sometime, man. Is the weather as cool as everybody says it is?
They get frost. They get frost higher up.
It's too cold in the winter for me, and will probably not be there because I actually I have really bad neuropathy. And if I am too cold, there's a piece of titanium in my back. If that gets cold, it sparks some crap because it transfers cold into the foramen, and those little spinal branches will swell up, and it caused me to like fall on my face all the time. So that's why I was in a wheelchair in the winter in the United States. In Oklahoma winters, I'm in a wheelchair.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, Larry, that's the price.
It's nothing.
Larry, that's the price we pay for our chosen professions.
I don't regret anything. You know, it's just the Philippines has been really good to me. You know what I mean? It's just that the very first time I went up to Baguio was in last year, and it was in the January, February months, and it was not cold but fucking cold. And the day we left, we woke up and they had all over Facebook a hard freeze on and it's just I'm not into that anymore, and that'll suck. But being close to the beach and whatever, I'll be able to kind of go do some thawing actions and get down there, and you know it'll be better. It'll be better. It'll be worth it.
I
Okay.
spent all day at the beach today. We had a brownout from 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock tonight. So I said to hell with it. We spent all day at the beach. Even though the weather was miserable, but it was just good enough to get out. It was a nice day. Drank a little bit too much beer, but man.
No, actually, I had Ed on because Ed's kind of like moving. But hey, Larry, we're so high up in Baguio. The low point of the city is 7,300.
Oh yeah, you guys are up there.
Then the highest point in the city, which is the Diplomats, at about 881.
Yeah, I don't know that this area that we're buying is on a ridge line on a mountain overlooking one particular part of Baguio, and it should be pretty decent.
I read about a place. It's U.S. government property. They call it the mansion or something up there. Have you guys
Not
heard?
anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. It's all been turned over to the Philippine government, except for one spot on Camp John Hay where the U.S. Embassy keeps a residence.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. It was a few years ago when I read about it.
Actually, anything related to the U.S. now, with the exception of that residence, has been turned over to the Philippine government.
Yeah,
the one part of what is now Camp John Hay, which Johnny likes, is being developed in kind of an economic residence, kind of like Clark would be per se. You know, it's being developed like Subic and Clark, like an economic / home zone. And it's turning out nice because they haven't trashed any of the old buildings. But it's too expensive for us to live in there because the houses start at like 20 million pesos.
Okay.
Are all the old cottages still there?
Yes.
Really? Wow.
Yes, because the one part where they call Teachers Camp now is split between Teachers Camp and then the PNP academies in there. So, but we're keeping on topic. Johnny's moving to Baguio. Everything the stars align.
John Hay used to be a big R&R. It was really an R&R center.
Yeah.
Recreation. I used to go up there every weekend golfing. Beautiful. I used to love that golf course. Oh.
The golf course is still here.
Yeah.
But I mean, I understand why he wants to move here. I like it here. I'm not a city person. I wasn't born
with the lifestyle that we live and with the kids and everything else. Look, the Cebu was the first time I actually lived in the city at all, ever. You know, even when I was living in San Antonio, my house was closer to New Braunfels than it was into San Antonio. And I don't know if I liked it or I didn't like it. I didn't know anything about it. But living in Cebu, I mean, I really liked it. It was cool to have everything convenient to you. And that's kind of what I'm hoping to have in Baguio. Baguio's traffic is so bad, you're gonna be pushed to bike and walk most places anyway. So,
dude, I've been with you when you've got agita over a taxi, so we don't need to discuss traffic.
But I'm fine with where I'm going to be fine. You know, I'll have my own vehicle and I'll get around. It'll be good.
And by the time you get here, anyway, the parking garage at the SM will be finished and they'll triple the parking.
So it'll be cool. I mean, I think I'll enjoy it.
There's a
So.
lot of positives. I mean, you get the Strawberry Festival, you get the Flower Festival, which I don't think you've ever been to, have you?
No, I haven't.
Have you been married a long time, Johnny?
What's that?
Have you been married a long time?
No, we've been together a long time, but we haven't been married that long. No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm going on 10.
Okay, I'm going on 22.
Wow. So
I'm going on about 5 months, 6 months.
yeah. So, but yeah, okay. What we talk about? Oh, channels.
Okay.
Guys, we're going to be blending Expat TV, Baguio Life Radio. Expat TV is going to be, how can I say this? Kind of brought under the umbrella of the magazine.
Oh, well, yeah. You got to talk about the magazine before you talk about the and the magazine. You know, you guys are aware we're trying to launch this Do More Life magazine, and it's been, you know, a work in whatever. Now, there's a few things that I got to do before we do the actual launch. We're ready for it, but we have to make sure it's being launched legally so that nobody gets in trouble, and that's kind of the tie-up at the moment. But as soon as that launches, because the contributors, Eric is one of the contributors. We got Gib, we've got Dick Insider, we've got.
You guys definitely won't be blending with the Bama show, then.
No. What
No,
he's
not,
what he's referring to, it's
Larry,
not.
If you mention that on this channel again, I'm booting you. We're moving away from that.
Okay. All right.
We're moving away from
okay.
Okay, go ahead, Johnny.
Going forward in the conversation, it's not so. Let's not. I don't think the word blending is the right word, because what it is the contributors that are giving the videos. Those videos will be linked to the magazine. So when you go to the magazine, what's cool about it is you go to the magazine, right, and you read the articles and ooh and all of the pictures, and then you go see the. You know, you want to see a video of an area or a particular topic or whatever, you click on the video of interest and it takes you to the YouTube. So obviously the YouTube channel owner will collect the view as well as whatever might in the future come from what the magazine might be able to generate in ad revenue that'll be shared out. So, you know, it's kind of like a multi way of making a little bit of extra cash. I mean, you're not going to be a millionaire. Trust me. It's not going to make anybody rich. But, you know, a couple extra $100 a month might not help or might not hurt. You know what I mean? And
yeah, it sounds really interesting, Johnny. You know, I think it'll be a really successful endeavor.
Yeah, and it's going to be think of, have you guys ever read the Lonely Planet magazines?
Yes.
Okay, so if you take that, National Geographic and Men's Life, and then throw in a little bit of Cheap Charlie in there, that's kind of what it's going to be. It's going to be the cost-effective way to travel and deal in lifestyles and travel lifestyles, expat lifestyles. You know, it's going to be kind of unilateral like that.
Here, I'll give Larry an example. Like, Larry, if you want to do a YouTube channel like Expat Farmer, like following how you do your quarter of a mile on your mountaintop lifestyle, you send the video, edit it down, send it to Johnny and whatever, and he'll put it in, link it into the magazine.
Okay.
Or if you want to do a photo layout.
Well, the photo layouts have to have an article, right? We can't just put it in there.
I know.
As a photo. But here's the thing: is some people are excellent in writing articles, are excellent in writing, and or they're really good in photography, right? And a couple ways you can do this is, one, you can do the photo spread in an article, which is traditional, and we're going to have that in there. You can do a video, or you could do a mixed photo and video. You know, remember how sometimes up on Expat TV, at a certain point once a month, I put out my best photos and with music and a layout on the channel. Something like that. I'll be, the sights and sounds of blank. You know what I mean? Set with some really groovy music, and it gets people interested in it. The whole thing is to inspire people to travel, inspire people to want to look at things and realize it's not as expensive as you think it is. I've got a really good friend that is moving over. You guys remember Haney?
I remember the name. I don't remember. I've heard you mention that name before, Johnny.
Yeah, there was a little bit of drama behind her. She got screwed over, and
oh yeah, I remember her.
Okay.
Yep.
She's actually potentially getting married now, and
that's the one.
yeah, actually, I know the guy. I've known the guy for 22 years, and he's a class act. He was my flight instructor. Guys,
now did you play matchmaker, Johnny?
I think he was interested in her. I connected him because he had talked about it, and but he'd already kind of been watching her on the videos and stuff like that. So I just kind of brought it in, and they did it on their own. It just naturally redid. I mean, I don't think they're going to get married like in a couple months, but I do think they're planning on it in about a year. So. And he's moving over to the Philippines around the October timeframe. He may be coming back to the Philippines with me when I come back in August for about 30 days.
And he has a man card, Larry.
Oh yeah, this guy is all man. But he knows what chivalry is and respect, and the guy is like I told you, he's extremely smart and he's a class act.
Yeah, that girl Haney, I completely. Somebody said, "Oh, she's a plain Jane." I really was felt that was really insulting. I felt she is a beautiful girl. She's got a lot of natural beauty. That's just her style. And
that woman is a good woman in the inside as well.
On top of that, yeah, yes.
So there's nothing there. I wouldn't get insulted, but just see people as the ignorant arses they are by saying something like that.
Yeah. I watched the videos about what happened to her and everything, and I realized what a sweet person she was. You got to see her a little bit. She didn't really want anything out of it. She wasn't trying to get a free scooter. She was just trying to not get hurt by the deal with Sauer. And she really came off as a sweet person.
Yeah, and she's but anyway, so he's coming in, and I have a guy that served in the brigade, the last brigade that I had a command in. He's retiring here shortly.
What rank?
I want to say he's a sergeant major.
Okay.
And he will be leaving. He found but he's moving actually a little south of Batangas. So, but he'll be, he'll be moving in there too. But I'm saying this to say is I know the people who are moving into the Philippines, right, are moving there for the purpose of travel, adventure, living a full life and seeing. And that's kind of what the focus of this magazine is, to really inspire people to continue to do that cheaply, because look, man, I could sit back here in the United States and do nothing and rot away and live and exist because of the money that I make, right, in my retirement. Or I can live a pretty darn good life in the Philippines and continue to travel cheaply because it's so cheap to travel and go see things and experience things. And, the Asawa gets more of a global view. The kids get more of a global view. I think I prefer to do that than sit and rot in the United States. They view us differently here. They view us as a liability and a label. You know, you got some parts that are proud and they want to use you to and exploit you to make money, and but the majority of them think that you're psycho and you shouldn't own guns and you should just be locked away in an old soldier's home and just you know, forgotten.
We're gonna do that show as soon as I can put the panel together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have that discussion, but I just got to figure out besides you who to put on the panel.
Well, probably you want to probably have somebody, other people that have been recently lived in the U.S. with the current environment, you know, and have knowledge of the Philippines. I mean, I think Popeye would be good, you know, but I got a couple more on the top of my head, but we would have to talk to him before we start mentioning names.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just that's it. That's a future thing. That's a future thing. But other than that, I mean, guys, I got news. We're drama free over here now.
Okay, well, you keep repeating it, you're going to generate drama.
Didn't you say, Baguio Life, that you were going to go move back to the States or something?
Yes.
Okay, so
I'm gonna be the back and forth guy.
Okay. Okay. Alrighty.
Because I need to. No, I'm not gonna say that online. But yeah, I mean, it's great. We got Johnny. We get things clicking. Johnny will be in Baguio. I mean, you guys will be getting some great content because I've been slacking in that area.
Well,
Between that
you know who covered Baguio real good. If you guys want to know more about Baguio, go over to Expat TV, click on Gibby Nomad's files. He has done a good job blanketing and giving good descriptions and getting out there and showing you what Baguio has to offer. You know, he's covered it solidly, and I think
who do you think told him where everything was?
Exactly, but you know, he still went out there and did the footwork and made sure that he put good content up. But you know, if Baguio's a jewel, guys, and yes, it's getting crowded because everybody wants to go up there in the summer when it's to cool off. But there's times even the crowds are worth it, and there's times where there's not so many people up there, and you can literally enjoy it. And if you want the real Christmassy feel, Baguio's a place to go.
Larry, Johnny came up for Thanksgiving to get a turkey. He was all bundled up, and I'm walking around in shorts and sandals.
Yeah. I'm definitely
you're used to it.
Yeah. Okay, the Hatter put me down to a challenge. Okay, 5 places: PMA, the Lion, the Buddhist temple behind UB, the Taoist temple, the Valley of Colors. There you go. I hit 5 besides the Strawberry Farm.
Well, I'll agree with the Valley of Colors, but I would say Camp John Hay, the Art Museum, right?
The Indigenous Museum.
No, the Art Museum, the one from what's his name? It's I can't remember the name of it. We did a video on it. It's absolutely spectacular.
The Indigenous Baguio Museum I took Gib to. It went into the different tribes of the mountains and everything.
Right there in the park, there's a museum for the president that came out of Baguio. I would strongly suggest that one if you're a history buff, because it overlies not only just Baguio, but a good line of the revolution and how, you know, a lot of how that kind of laid out. They do a real good job. In fact, the first flag of the Philippines is displayed there.
And plus they had a Miss Universe or a Miss America that came out of Baguio in the mountains. She was one of the firsts.
There's a lot to offer. There is a lot. Oh, and the PMA, man.
Yeah, definitely. PMA. I said PMA. But the Buddhist temple I haven't taken you to yet. I'll have to take you there. You didn't go there. I took Gib there and he did a short one. There's a lot to see and do. The bus rides out of Angeles Hatter, I can't tell you. I mean, I've never taken that bus route. JW's taken that bus route.
Yeah. The Dow has the.
Man, it's like I think it's Baguio, Dau, then into
Yeah.
Alongo. Yeah, so
But you're not going to avoid the. No, actually, that's from that side. The bus ride's not that terrible, man. You know, the terrible rides are the ones going down the other one, and they do allow buses on that route. And those guys run like bat out of hell, and you get sick in the vans. I can't imagine how bad it is in a bus.
Yeah, so
those vans are death traps, man.
And I'm putting this out right now, guys. I put this out once again. The Baguio Airport, they're dumping a ton of money into it, and they're going to reopen it for domestic.
That'll be good. You're right, Larry. Those vans are a death trap, man.
Yeah. Even the buses, man. If I ever ride those, I never sit in the front.
Yeah.
I go the middle.
Hey, Johnny, I had an epiphany right now, and the chat's giving me an idea, so I'll put this out now. Maybe we should do a Expat TV / Baguio Life Facebook page to put out information on.
Let me think about that.
Okay.
Maybe that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But somebody's got to manage it. That's actually going to manage it. I don't know if I got the time.
Well, if you do half, I do half.
Yeah, but you're back and forth. You're going to lose interest the minute you move over there, and you're starting to do your hog hunting and everything else. Oh. So, I mean, it's something that I want to start. If we're going to start, that's got to be maintained.
We'll talk about it when we get face to face in a couple of weeks.
I give you a wedgie and throw your head in the toilet bowl.
Larry, you need to come up and see us.
Yeah, I would like to come up there.
Thanksgiving.
Someday.
Thanksgiving.
I'm sure Larry has his own things to do on Thanksgiving, buddy. And so we could probably do something. Let him coordinate it and talk, and let's not paint him into a corner where he's like, "Oh man."
I already have a prior potential obligation for some boxing match, but that's all I'll say on that.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, Thanksgiving or between the end of November and January, because Graham will be up here in Baguio for a couple of weeks, like 3 months.
Oh, Graham's going to be there.
Graham's already been here, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming back for, I think, 3 months, right?
Yeah.
He's cool, man. I would love to hang out with him. Yeah.
He's an interesting character. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know who else I like? Dan in Bahal. I don't care what anybody says about the guy. I think he's a good guy.
Oh, you know, he's like one of my best friends, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, him and I lived in Bohol when I first moved there. He was the reason why I moved there.
Be right back.
Really?
Yeah, we were going to open up a bushcraft school together, an international bushcraft course. And just got weird. What?
You knew him before you came to the Philippines, or?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. Well, how far back do you guys go? I mean,
no, it was online. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was about 9 months, I want to say.
Yeah, he's a super guy, man. I mean, I can tell with that guy if you were, his neighbor, his friend. If you needed something, that guy would be right there, man.
Exactly. That guy will give you the shirt off. He's gruff and he comes across as an ass, but the guy's got his heart in the right places. And a lot of people complain about all the boxes that he solicits, but they don't seem to understand that those boxes are handed out to the community. They take those boxes to the church and hand them out to the church to people who are in need.
Right.
They share everything. Marife is like an angel, and their daughter Shannon is absolutely brilliant. She's really smart.
I was so pissed off when that idiot Clarence, or not Clarence,
Yeah, I
Terrence
know.
was
Yeah,
talking down about her husband to her, and she was
yeah,
upset. She made that video.
yeah.
Man, I was upset about.
That whole situation is a whole nother thing that it's
Yeah,
complicated. But I see. I was there. It was Dan and I who we sat in his screened-in porch talking to that particular individual about some of the problems he was having, and gave him advice and told him what he was doing was wrong and stuff like that. And so some of these, last year I pointed out where he was being illegal and not so cool about what he was doing, and I got slammed for it. And it was like everybody, and not so much by him, but by his viewers. It's like, you guys don't even know this guy. All you see is what's on YouTube. I know him.
right.
I was involved with a lot of these discussions. So you guys don't know what's going on in the background. You don't know what he's like. You don't know how big of a weasel he is. You only see his little facade on YouTube. So it really kind of irritated me, and I just dropped it.
You know, somebody just poisoned Dan's dog, don't you?
Yeah, and it was him who paid somebody to do it.
Yeah, it's terrible. Man.
But you were talking about the bushcraft thing. Is Thunderbird Outdoor Adventures eventually going to open up a branch here?
Well, this is how that's going to work. We got another Jamie, my bro here. I live with somebody when I'm here in the States, and this guy's like my brother. And
he's the PJ, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's cool.
Yeah, no, this guy is like he's actually, if you go over right now to Thunderbird Outdoor Adventures, it's me and him that are running. You'll see him a lot on a lot of the, like, especially with the gear reviews and stuff like that. He does an excellent job doing that. And what we're doing is we're rebranding it. We're gonna it's gonna have a new name. The model's gonna change a little bit, because we have a third guy that he was actually an instructor. Now, you got to understand something about being an effective instructor in this kind of industry. It's probably better just to find somebody who was an instructor than teach them the skills, than somebody who's an expert in the skills and then try to teach them how to be an effective instructor. And this guy was a military instructor to the point where he became a chief instructor over at the artillery school. So the guy knows how to do it and how to deliver the.
I assume he used to wear a Smokey the Bear hat at one point.
Irrelevant. Okay. Yes.
Well,
but
okay.
Irrelevant. Staying with the course of what we're trying, the objective here, because we don't want to go down a rabbit hole and start doing the whole fantasies of what the military was. He's joining the crew. So the three of us are going to rebrand and remodel the school, and they're going to do a basic and intermediate course. I will come in for the advanced course and help with the advanced course. And hold on 1 minute so I don't lose my train of thought. And then I will open up now you gave me a couple ideas with the eco, Eric. I'm going to give you kudos on that. Now the eco trekking and stuff like that, but I got to get a work permit, and I got to get the right permits and stuff like that in order.
We can answer the questions when you come to see the.
Yeah. And
I offered to give you guys the rattlesnake seminar.
Okay. And then, but I would also still like to be able to do the international advanced course. And that particular scenario is we were going to do a castaway course where I was going to lay up with the an optic and a medic bag and just overlook in an overwatch position and observe whoever was doing the course and be there on standby with comms, keep the captain out on the bay, keep a second person doing security or a third person doing security. And then the individual would do a 72-hour castaway scenario in which they come with nothing but a container and a knife onto the beachhead, and they've got to survive for 72 hours.
That's beyond advanced.
Well, no, our advanced course is a knife-only course anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we do that in 2 frames. We'll do, you know, a 7-day or a 3-day winter over, you know, in the Kiamichi's knife course. So,
hey, have you, Johnny? Have you ever investigated some of this folk medicine? Like I live in the mountains here, and my wife can tell me just about every kind of little plant and bush on the property. Oh, that's good for a headache. That's good for an infection. You make a poultice out of this. You can eat this kind of mushroom, or you can't eat that kind of mushroom. Because she grew up, I mean, I remember she picked these mushrooms, and I was like, man, you can't eat those. You're going to drop over dead. No, I've been eating these since I was a kid. And she cooked them up, and I said, don't eat those. And she laughed at me, and she ate them, man. And I said, well, after about an hour, she didn't drop over dead. So I ate a couple. Now I know what kind I can eat and what kind I can't around here. But have you ever got into that?
I'm a registered herbalist here in the United States, and I'm in the process of learning what I need to do there. So a lot of this stuff is still the same. You know, some of it is still the same, but you know, there is a difference in a lot of the plants, and I'm learning that. You know, like for instance, Malungai. Malungai is one of their that would be like, you know how elderberry syrup is here in the United States. It's like the cure-all when it comes to flu and colds and stuff like that. Well, that's kind of what Malungai is.
Yep.
Well, hold on. You just mentioned Malungai. I'm not trying to butt in. My doctor at the VA prescribed that.
Well, yeah, because it's also huge in antioxidants. And it's got anti-carcinogen properties as well.
No, she recommended it for the endorphin.
Every day I drink that Malungai leaves in my vitamin, my smoothie. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what my wife did with it? She put it on chicken potato salad, and it was freaking awesome.
What mine makes Mongol with Malungai, and she packs it with Malungai. And man, I tell you what.
You know what else is good for you? Well, actually, I can tell you how good. I can speak for his herbal medicine. Okay, he did this salve for me for my arthritis in my back. Okay, my wife and I both used it, and it was effective.
Oh, really?
Yes. The salve.
Use some of that stuff, man. I got a bad back.
Well, I'll start blending again, and let me get my studies complete there, so I know what my access is, and then I'll go there. I do a lot of essential oils too, bro. I do not just the plant, but I use essential oils effectively, internally and externally. And I know a lot of people are like, what? You know, that's just aromatherapy.
You know, Johnny, when I first came to the Philippines, Johnny, back in the 90s, we were up in the mountain, and anyways, my feet got all bit shit. I don't know if it was mosquitoes or no-see-ums or what. But I must have had probably 100 bites on my feet, just like little. It wasn't like mosquito bites, but man, I was just like scratching my hide till it bled, you know, on my feet. I couldn't stop and they look terrible on the top of my feet. Anyways, this old this neighbor, this old guy, was about 80 years old. He come to visit my wife's father, and he'd seen my feet, and he took pity on me. He says, "I'm gonna make you some oil." So he come back like I said, "Yeah, okay." You know, I was being nice. He come back 2 days later, and he had this oil he made out of a snake. He caught the snake, and he boiled it up, and he put some leaves or some roots in there. Anyways, he had this oil stunk like shit, and I probably would have just smiled and not even used it, but he insisted I put it on right then. So he put that on my itchy, bloody feet, and it stopped that itch. Just like you know how when you burn your finger, you put ice on it, and it just takes it away instantly. It was just like that, and man, they healed up, and that was the best thing. It's for like mosquito bites or itches. It made me a believer because I always had heard, snake oil. It's some snake oil salesman. You know the old phrase, but this
Yeah.
really was snake oil, and this shit really worked, Johnny.
Yeah. Do you know what lavender oil is?
No,
Have you heard of it? That stuff is like the
for
cure all
lavender.
for. Yeah, well, it's essential oil of lavender is what it is. Or you could, if you grow or get fresh lavender, you can actually make. Well, essential oil is basically a steeping or distillation process that they get the actual oil out of. Um, then you have lavender oil, which is when you heat oil up with the actual organic plant in it, and it steeps the constituents out into the oil, and you can use that oil as an agent itself. But lavender oil or essential oil of lavender will cure all bug bites, and it's an antibacterial, antiviral. It's like this amazing oil. Trust me, that's something you might want to look into.
Okay,
What about
yeah.
this? What about this over-the-counter concentrated coconut oil they sell by the bottle here?
That's actually a really good carrier oil. That if you have an essential oil, you don't like lavender oil. There's no need to use it straight. So if you had like, let's say 5 milliliters of coconut oil like that, and then you added 5 drops of lavender oil to that 5 milliliters, you would be able to use that directly, and it'll stretch your essential oils out.
What do you think of turmeric, Johnny? That's the main oil in curry, or not the main oil, the main spice in
Yeah,
curry. Turmeric.
turmeric is an amazing spice. I actually drink turmeric tea with apple cider vinegar in it. I'm diabetic, but I don't really take my medications because my diet and using turmeric with apple cider vinegar and a tablespoon of honey helps balance my it detoxifies it balances your metabolism, and it's good for your gut health as well as for your blood health. And eat kimchi. Eat kimchi.
Oh, dude, that kimchi they had at the Korean place was good.
Yeah, but eat kimchi.
I've been putting that turmeric on my food, and I told my wife, I said, because I have Crohn's disease, Johnny, and it seems to calm down, my gut. And I told my wife, there's something in this turmeric. She didn't know what I was talking about because I shipped this turmeric from the Balak Bayan box, and then she looked at it and she said the Cebuano name, and she said, "Yeah, we've been using that in our medicine for years."
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I said, I have Crohn's, and it really seems to help me. Turmeric.
Actually, we have something here in Baguio that can help you too. Believe it or not, we have an organic dairy.
Was it pasteurized milk or raw milk?
Raw, and it's goat.
Yeah.
And it's goat. So,
yeah,
I'm ignorant when it comes to health stuff because I have to ask you about my fucking tests that they give me. So, but yeah, you know what else my wife feeds me? Ampalaya.
you guys mentioned kimchi. Did you guys say you eat kimchi?
Oh yeah, there's
that
the Korean place here had good kimchi.
Yeah, my wife actually makes kimchi. I like kimchi, and I finally got her to try it after about a month of convincing her. Now she loves it so much. She makes it. Her sister's starting to eat it. Her mom eats it. So
Yeah, that has lactose
in this area.
It has the highest concentrations of lactose bacillus, that you can get. It's even better, like that Yakult yogurt that you drink that you can buy in the stores. It's even better than that, man. Kimchi is by far one of the most healthiest foods that you can eat. It's so good for your gut. If you start with your gut and have good gut health, everything else will absorb and detox and get transferred out of your body correctly. That's what's going to promote a healthy lifestyle. Hey, bro, we're going to have to wrap this up. We're well over an hour.
Yeah, we're well over an hour. It was a good talk. I'm going to put this out right now. Next week, we're going to answer everybody's questions on property ownership, types of property, agriculture, condominiums, the landlord stuff. We're going to run the gamut. I got 2 subject matter experts that are on both ends of the Philippine spectrum of ownership, and I know people have questions. I know with the Hatter, he was having some questions. Larry, it's been a pleasure. You guys take it away.
Go ahead, Larry.
Okay, yeah. Okay, thanks for having me on. Good show, and I wish you guys luck in your new endeavor and your magazine ideas. They sound real interesting. So, thank you.
All right, everybody. Hey, if you get a chance, please go over to the GoFundMe. Look up Operation Backpack. You'll see it. And if you can't donate right now, at least help me spread the word by sharing it on Facebook, Twitter, etc. Getting the word out there so we can get it more organized and get these funded. We have some stuff coming up here soon that are going to need funding, and I need as much help as possible.
And guys, I will do us a favor. When I go to post this show public, I will drop the links in the description to Expat TV Radio, and the GoFundMe.
Okay, thank you.
So
okay, hey Graham, nice to see you, Graham.
I'm late.
Yeah, you're real late, man.
Yeah, you're late, but welcome to you're part of the snuggle circle now.
Well, she's a good talker, so she helped me up a bit.
Yeah.
She's a good woman, though, man.
Yeah,
you got a good one.
Graham, she's already been vetted by 3 people's wives.
Thanks, guys.
So, one more hurdle to pass.
I'll let you wind the show up, eh?
Yeah. But hey, we're going to do this next week with the property ownership. I got to get my 2 experts lined up. So,
that'll be a good show.
Yeah. And sorry you're late. She's a good talker. So I can understand that, okay? And Larry, you're always welcome.
Okay, thanks for having me on. I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Graham.
Yeah.
You caught the beginning of the show. We're a no drama place now.
Yeah, no, I caught that.
And
that's all good.
We're all kind of teaming up to do a positive thing. So
yeah, well, the property thing will be a good start because there's a lot of questions that people have for that.
Yeah, so we're going to do that next week. I just got to coordinate the experts. So have a good one there down under. Sorry you're late, but I got to go to bed, and it's daytime over there, and he's running 1,000 miles an hour. So
all right, I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah, later.